it's a wonderful story to tell. The foundation is actually one of the earliest education foundations in the province of Ontario, and it serves all the schools of the Avalon-Maitland District School Board. And it is separate from the school board. It serves the schools, but separate from, it has its own charitable status. And as we have this conversation this afternoon, you'll see why this charitable status is so important, because we can issue tax receipts, tax creditable receipts, to the donors of donations to schools. We offer grants to the schools. They can apply. We put a posting up for making a grant available, so individual schools can apply for, say, a grant to do a peace garden, an environmental project, something like that, or something to do with the Silver Birch Reading Program. We also offer funded arts workshops to the schools, and that's actually one of the earliest things that the foundation was actually behind the creation of the foundation, was the offering of Shakespeare on Wheels workshops to the schools. And we continue that tradition. We grow it every year. Some years we have offered up to $100,000 worth of arts workshops in the school. So it's very, very significant. We do a lot of work around school to work, having career information, things like career symposiums, various programs that encourage employers to get together with students and educators and help students to make more informed decisions around their careers. Get in touch with us first, and because you will often be involved in various fundraising campaigns in your schools. And if it is a significant campaign, like a playground, which I'm going to walk you through, we are very, very, very happy when a school council and principal come to us and say, what can we do? What are the steps that we should take? And I immediately say to you, let us come and talk to your council. So we go out and to an evening meeting, which incidentally I love. I love meeting school council people because they're passionate about their schools, they're passionate about their kids, and they put that passion into the fundraising projects that they're doing in their school. So I come out and we talk about how to structure a campaign. And it could be things like your timelines. If it's a playground, it's going to be at least a year for that fundraising campaign to take place. And the various places you can go for funding. We have all sorts of information and advice for that. But perhaps most important, and this is the reason I like to work with you early, is that we help you design the materials that you will take out to the public. And I can't stress enough how important it is to have good-looking materials that go out. You'll see in that example, that's a typical response form that we have designed for a playground campaign. And there's information for the donor to fill in to capture their name and address and how much they want to give and so on. The check must be made to the foundation. We can't receipt something if we can't deposit it. It's as simple as that. And so we do all sorts of different designs. Here's another one for Colborne that had the wonderful mascot on the top of that campaign. We also designed an individual letterhead to go with the campaign. So here's an example from Anne Hathaway a couple of years ago. Wonderful campaign, $120,000 accessible playground, and that had its own letterhead, and then the school could drop their individual letter into that campaign. We have some very, very large campaigns too, and here's the material that we designed, part of the material that we designed for the Little Falls, the new school in St. Mary's. And you can see it's a stunning design. There was a lot of work in this, but it is paying off. That campaign is now 2/3 of the way to completion at this time. So those are some examples of what we do. And there's another option that we are just now giving to the schools, which I'm very, very excited about. And that is the ability now to have donors to a school campaign donate online. And we are set up with a partnership with Canada Helps. That's on our website. You would give this information to a donor. They would go directly to the foundation website, click on the Canada Helps Donate Now button, and they can make a donation directly to your school campaign. Within 10 or 15 minutes, they get their tax receipt from Canada Helps, and Canada Helps records that contribution, that donation, to our master tracking sheet. So that's a particularly efficient addition that we have made to fundraising for the schools. I would caution the council at that first meeting to not go out into the community until those materials are completed. Don't jumpstart a campaign. That's can be sometimes a recipe for disaster rather than success, and we want this campaign to work. The neat question, though, that we always get is, well, once you've worked with us and we've got a timeline set up and we've got a committee in place and everybody knows what they're going to do and so on, what do we do? We've got our first $1,000 donation came in from a local company. Everybody is excited, but as the council chair, you say, well, what am I supposed to do with this now? And so that's sort of the next step in this process. You take the check to the school secretary. She will be your absolutely best friend in this campaign. So she will help you with the tracking. She'll have to help you with the tracking. She will also show you the application for tax receipt. And this application comes with every donation to the foundation, and it's asking the foundation to issue a tax receipt for a donation to this campaign. And it must be signed by the principal. Once you get onto this, it's very, very easy. Again, the school secretaries are very, very familiar with this form. They've used it many, many times for different projects in their schools. So don't be intimidated by this. They know what to do. They will also track the donations as they come in, and they will keep their tracking sheet. We will also keep a tracking sheet for major campaigns at the foundation office. And those two sheets can always be reconciled as to the status of your campaign. This is one of the functions of the foundation, and it's why it receives a sort of a core operating support grant from the Avalon-Maitland District School Board that enables us to flow donations from the schools through the foundation back to the schools, and the foundation does not keep any portion of that donation. And that's really, really important when you're going out to the public, because that's a question that they'll often ask. Well, what's the administration fee that the foundation is taking off the top of my donation? They're not taking anything. They are doing this as a service to the schools. They happen to love doing it too, and are making a wonderful thing, a good project happen in your school. We designed this guide. It's called the Foundation Guide to School Donations and Fundraising. And it has everything that a council member, council chair, school secretary needs to know to answer questions about receiving donations to that school. For instance, someone may say at the beginning of September, come to the school principal and say, you know, I've heard that the foundation will set up something whereby parents have the option of not fundraising through cheese sales and magazine sales and so on. They can just write one check at the beginning of the year, and then that donation goes to general school funds. is that true? And the answer is yes. And all the information is contained in this guide. It's posted on the Foundation conference. It is also posted on with the Foundation itself, but it is hard copies are in every school office and distributed in their staff rooms as well. So this is a source of good material to answer all the little questions that come up about the Foundation and its role with your school. Almost 100% across the board, schools have some kind of relationship, many relationships. Some schools will have several campaigns going on at one time, and we're involved in all of those and offering support, advice. The only thing we don't do, I have to point out to you, is that we cannot obviously go out and actually do the soliciting for the asks, we say, for your individual campaigns.